Okay, there we go. All right. Epic mega show. I don't know. These things are getting longer and longer. I used to really stress about keeping them to an hour, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's worth it. Okay, so let's check out some questions. Question: if the camera is far away from the particle effect, does it have less of a performance hit than being closer? I.e., does Unity color less pixels? Short answer, I don't know. A lot of these optimization questions I haven't looked deeply into. My instinct would be to say no, and that you would want, like, if it's actually off camera, it won't be rendered, right? But if it's on camera, you probably want to do some culling of your own where you turn it off based on like a distance check to the player, or you could do an LOD with like a much simpler, small, let's say you have a waterfall in the distance, right? You don't want to be rendering 1 million particles for something that's like 10 pixels on the screen. So you would probably want to do, get a little slick with that. Cool. Folks don't mind them getting longer. Yeah, I talked to my management, and they kind of felt the same way, and also it's better than me rushing, because that's the other thing where when I was trying to fit everything in an hour, I would just talk really fast and da-da-da-da-da and maybe not explain things so clearly. And so now slowing down a little bit, going longer, gives me a little more chance to explain if I need to, and I think that's good, and take questions and stuff. So it varies as well. Hydrogen, yeah, you can request topics in the forum, the live training forum thread. Let me get it for you. We have a dedicated forum thread. But we will definitely be doing live training every 2 weeks going forward, so watch this space. Although, big announcement, we're going to move to Wednesdays. I talked to management, and the agreement was it'll be the same time, but on Wednesdays. It'll give me more time to prepare, because I end up preparing on Friday, and then the weekend happens, and I forget everything, and then I have to prepare again on Monday, which is not great. And I think Wednesday is going to be the new day. So when you see new sessions coming up on the schedule, they'll be scheduled on Wednesday going forward. FYI. All right, let's see what the questions are. So Rames points out that the camera being farther away, it will cause overdraw on a smaller part of the screen. Yes, you will get some performance benefit from that. That's true. That's true. Powdery Mirror asks, you mentioned that a game has successfully used particles for bullets because there were so many. Particles are billboard though, right? So presumably you could do complex objects like that, say a crowd of people walking down a street randomly moving. Yeah, you could actually. For a crowd of people moving down the street, I would assume you would want more granular behavior than a particle system, right? You would probably want some steering behavior or something more AI-like. For a cloud of insects or something that's not so human, yeah, definitely. Or maybe dumbass zombies, right? You could do it. But theoretically, you could, yeah. And that game I referred to, Assault Android Cactus, which is a really cool-looking game, and I recommend you check out, is made with Unity and is a top-down shooter, right? So they have a kind of a reliable, and I don't think the camera zooms in and out. Maybe, I don't remember. But anyway, they have a reliable perspective to know where they're going to be rendering their bullets. Cool. Atari, thank you. Glad you enjoyed the tutorial. Gideon303, glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I know. When the clocks change, it's going to get later in the UK, and I know in Europe it's going to run late. The time thing is really hard. It's really hard to find a good time. It's like starting at 3 o'clock here, which is okay for me, but then it's like noon for people in California. It's tough. Oh my God. See Strachan, I would literally die. He says, go for Guinness Book of Records live stream training. Current record is 150 hours, 30 minutes. Let's go for 160 hours. I would die, and you all would die. But we could probably make a cool game. I don't know. It's trade-offs. Atari asks, would you make a laser as a particle or object of volumetric line? I was just thinking about this because I have a personal game project that I work on that has a lot of lasers in it. And up until now, I've been using lots and lots of objects with trail renderers. The problem being that when you look at them from certain angles, they disappear, right? Because they're flat. And there are a couple solutions for refactored volumetric trail renderers. And now that the particle systems have these new trail capabilities, I was just thinking about maybe I should look at trying to redo my lasers with particles. It would have the same draw. I don't think you can do volumetric line rendering with the current particle system. I actually want to look into that personally, so I can give you a thought about that. Let me just copy this and exit play mode. I'm getting some weird error. What is this? Invalued AABB0. Thanks. Don't know what that is. Clear. Paste. Okay, whatever. So short answer, I don't know, but it's an interesting question. All right, let's see. Fogside asks, how big is a performance hit if you use lights in the Spark system? I would do what they've done in the Flame system and have a sub-emitter, or not a sub-emitter, but a second system that just could maybe spawn lights like much less often, maybe like 10 times less than the main emitter, and spawn them and drop them to the floor. I would assume that it's still going to be a fairly significant performance cost because you might have 10 lights getting spawned. So, or you could just do something similar to what they did with the Flame and just have like 1 or 2 lights, but you'd want them to be moving. I don't know. You would have to profile that yourself. C. Strachan asked for more particle training. Yeah, I kind of would like to do that. Since as MH Unity was asking, it's kind of a good idea maybe to do something more towards scripting with particles. Well, let me know. How many of you guys in the chat would like to see like something more scripting focused with particles? I kind of would like to do it. So let's talk about it. ZBS 8-bit asks, how can I sign up to know when these live sessions are happening? What is it? What do they call it on Twitch? Follow us or like us? What is it called here? There's a button here somewhere. Where is it? How often do we stream? We stream every 2 weeks, but there should be... There's a button. I'm like such a bad streamer. I don't know how to tell people to follow. There's a button somewhere on the Twitch page. If you sign up, it'll give you an email when I go live, and I always go live like 10, 15 minutes before. Or you can follow me on Twitter, which is this. I'm at Matt Mirrorfish. I always post, when it's going live. And then you can also check the this page, the live training page, which is... one sec. The live training page is here. This is the Stephen PSA. Thanks for the excellent episode. Thank you. Awesome. You're always welcome back. Definitely great to have new folks here. We've got a great community on the stream. Lots of nice people. Happy to answer questions and stuff. Yeah, totally. Powdery Mirror 9 asks, so you said you could do complex objects as a particle like insects, but would you be able to see a 3D object like that given particles seem more like 2D sprites textures? Well, you actually can. In the renderer, you can actually emit a mesh if you want. It is going to be more... Oh, sorry, duh. I'm showing stuff on the screen. Hi, I'm an idiot. Hi. Idiot here. I've got my title card up and I'm like showing stuff on the stream. Here in the renderer, the render mode by default is one of a variety of billboards, but you can actually choose a mesh. This is now using cubes. We can, you can see them. Little tiny, tiny cubes. Let's make them bigger here. I'll show you. What's the start size? Let's make it 0.1. There you go. You can see they've got the default particle. Hold on. Let's set the particle material to none. We should see, or do we have a cube here? Default diffuse. There we go. See? Now it's spawning. It looks ridiculous, but it's kind of funny. It's spawning cubes. So yeah, you can spawn meshes. It is more expensive, right? But yeah, you can totally do it. Lindy H asks, can you also use this for bird flocking? No, you would not get real flocking behaviors because you can't control. Flocking requires like a series of scripts. If you want to do flocking stuff, look at the Unity Steer library, which is available for free and is awesome. I actually use it really intensely in my personal project, and I get like hundreds of agents flying around and flocking and avoiding and chasing each other and stuff. It's really fun. But that would not be something you could do with particles. So you can get something that was an interesting chaotic movement with the noise, but it would not be actual flocking. Stephen PSA, question. I expect to be able to use the particle system for clouds. I think that's a reasonable expectation. Flight sim, i.e. full 3D. Or would that be the cause for performance issues? Well, you just have to profile on your device, right? I don't know what your target platform is and stuff. Just try it. That's not going to be a hard thing to try. Give it a try and see how it goes. I think you could do a lot of tricks where, for example, the only clouds that need to be really 3D are the ones that are closer, right? So you could maybe have something more dynamic up close and then transition into something less dynamic that's further away, maybe, or you're going to have to do some tricks with regard to performance. But I mean, this is the thing, guys. There are some like simple performance questions that I can answer and be like, yes, never do that. But like, for example, there's a game, what is it called? Let me try to look it up. Light in game. What is it called? The Light in something like, what is it called? It's so gorgeous. Let's see, game. It's like rendered only with particles. I'm not going to find it. Dang it. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Damn, I'm totally forgetting. Oh, actually, you know what? Rami Ismail from Vlambeer put it up on his website. Let me see if I can find the post. It's a game. I don't know how they actually did it, but I think it's only rendered in particles. It looks like he changed his website, maybe. I'm not going to find it easily. I want to say it's called like Light in Autumn or something, but it's gorgeous though. I know this is not great. Someone asked before, I think I missed the answer, can we record the emissions of a particle system so we don't have to simulate it every time during... I would just render it to, well... You could just do a static animation, right? That would just be like, just get your animator to make an animation. But I doubt that would even be like more efficient. I don't totally know why you would want to do it. +1, +1, +1. Okay, cool. Yes, lots of people want to do scripting in particles. Lots of people. Neat. Okay, great. Cool. Yay. Okay, great. One person requesting AI scripting. That's actually, I just bought this book about programming game AI that I'm about to read. So I'll bet you we have some sessions on, I'd like to do some basic stuff on like implementing basic AI types like behavior trees and whatever in Unity. So I'd like to do that. It just depends on time and how complicated it gets. Cool. Take Unity steer and add particles on top of object. If it's in bees, following a point using steer. That's a cool idea. See Strachan, combine Unity steer and the particles. Yeah. The nose blower. Jeez. All right. Thanks, Hydrogen. He's gone. Okay. A lighting chorus. Thank you. A lighting chorus. That's the one. You can see I'm way behind the chat. The chat is like a million messages in it. Okay, I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. AI. Oh, Kagar. What's the book? Game Programming AI by Example, I think. I don't know if I can like recommend it because I haven't read it yet. But I'll show you the one. Programming Game AI by Example. It had good reviews. It looks pretty cool. I'll let you know once I've read it if it's good. The other book, people always ask for book recommendations. The book that I'm reading right now that I really like and that you can actually read as a free website is this one. I gotta go soon. This Game Programming Patterns book, Game Programming at gameprogrammingpatterns.com is terrific. It's really cool. The examples are in C++, which I don't know, but you can still get enough from looking at them. It's still pretty similar to C# or other C-like languages that you can kind of figure it out. And just some awesome high-level programming strategy stuff that I'm really learning a lot from and actually hoping to build some live training sessions around soon. That are like a little more theory oriented or like backed up with more solid theory. It's really good. I really like it. And there's that free version. Yeah. Supporting B4 Vibe suggestion, game architecture in general will be super useful too. There's so few reliable info about how to structure things. Yeah, man, listen, that is something that I really would like to teach more about and is a little bit of like a subject that, like in my department, I really believe that it would be cool for us to teach more of that. But as usually our programmers always say, it's hard to teach because it depends so much on what people are trying to build. And if you're building a match 3 game as opposed to a first-person shooter, the architecture is just going to be super different. So it's really hard to come out and say, this is the architecture you should always use. But as I said, posting that game programming patterns thing, it's something that I am working on, first of all, trying to solidify my knowledge on so that I can, if I'm presenting something, I can say this is really something that is like a verified best practice type pattern so that, you know, we can present it with some confidence and give just some examples of here's this type of system that works with this type of pattern. I would really like to do more of that stuff, but it's been a challenge getting that stuff kind of approved by my management because they kind of were always like, well, it depends. So, you know, we don't want to show people something that's wrong. And then they go out and say, well, Unity told me to do this. So that's always a little bit of a struggle, honestly. All right, people talking about jobs. Kazooie, yeah. Totally. I mean, you know, the thing I would say for everybody, just like general job advice, right? Everybody says, like, so he's joking. He says, I've seen people looking for dev with 10 years experience in language A, and language A was only 8 years old, right? That totally happens. People are, you know, what they mean is we're looking for a really senior dev. We don't want somebody who's going to learn on the job. We want somebody who's just going to come in and solve the problems and we don't have to think about it, right? That's what they're really saying. 10 years of experience, that's what that means. We want an expert level developer. If you are that or have that, but you've only been doing it for a couple of years, apply anyway. And you can go in and say, look, I built this. I worked for these people. You know, I know this, they can give you some tests, whatever, and you could show that you know it and you can get hired. The thing is, if they need to hire someone, they just have to hire the best person who applies. They don't get to pick from all the people on the earth, right? So apply, make your case, and maybe you get hired. Awesome. Thanks, Co-Reactives. Thank you, Cerero YK. Thanks, F5 Chaser. Thanks, GM Liquid Media. Thank you all again. It's always great to see you all. Welcome back to all the regulars and welcome to the new folks. Hope to see you again in 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks, moving to every Wednesday, every 2 weeks, as opposed to Monday that we've been doing. Check unity3.com/learn/live training for updates on the schedule. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.